Today we're talking about some of my favorite shaker shortcuts, and I'll be showing you these shortcuts as I make a couple of fall-themed tags and a card. And mainly my shortcuts involve adhesive because, as you know, making shaker cards involves a lot of adhesive, so the easier the better. For my first project, I'm using the Stick It adhesive, and you may have seen this before. It's basically just an adhesive sheet that you die cut using your cardstock, die cut into it using your cardstock, and it puts adhesive on the back of your cardstock piece. And this is especially good for intricate die cuts like the one I'm using here that says Trick or Treat on it. And all you have to do is take your cardstock that you're going to be die cutting and apply it over the adhesive and then cut around it. And I like to use non-stick scissors like these Tim Holtz just to cut around what I need, and then I have plenty of adhesive left over for another project. So then you want to take your die cut or your metal die, and you want to die cut like you would die cut any piece of cardstock. So you'd put it over the top of the cardstock that you placed over the adhesive. I've made the mistake many times of doing it on the other side, and so I had the adhesive on the wrong side, so don't do what I did. But this puts a nice even amount of adhesive on the back of your intricate die cut, so you don't have to worry about glue and getting enough adhesive on it and everything. So this works really well. So next I'm going to use a stencil brush and some neon green ink from Hero Arts to do some ink blending on the front of my die cut. And I love these neon ink colors. They are super vibrant and it's perfect for Halloween. And you'll actually, you might have seen at the beginning, I did one in orange as well. So I have all of the neon colors. They're really pretty. And I'm using the stencil brush because this die cut is so delicate that I felt like a sponge might cause some tearing. So the brush is really nice to use in this situation. So with the die cut all finished, I'm going to create my shaker window. And I'm using this embossable window plastic from Judikins. And they're pre-cut squares of plastic that you use to create the shaker card. And I'm peeling away the backing from the Stick It that is on the back of my die cut to uncover the adhesive. And right now the adhesive is not super sticky, so it allows you to kind of move things around if you need to. And I'm just applying my die cut over the top of the plastic in the corner, and then I just have to cut off the two sides. So this will create my shaker window, and this makes it really quick and easy. I have large sheets of plastic as well, but I just discovered these smaller ones and I really like them because they're easy to store and easy to use. So with my shaker window done, I'm ready for the tag. And I created my tag using some heavy tag stock from Paper Tray Ink along with a stitched tag die from My Favorite Things. And the striped paper is also from My Favorite Things. And I just cut the tag into the paper and created the top and bottom borders with the stripes. Now to create my shaker window and to have the foam adhesive on the sides so that it kind of keeps the sequins in, I'm using these thin adhesive foam strips from Derice. And they're nice because they're pre-cut strips and they're super, super thin. So they're perfect for a die cut that has a very thin border. And it keeps you from having to cut the strips yourself. So it kind of saves some time. So I use these a lot. And so with those all cut and ready to go, I'm ready to add my sequins to my tag. And I'm using some Halloween themed sequins from Cat Scrappiness, and they're really cute. They have little ghosts in them. And I'm just adding a small pile to the center of the card. And then I'll just peel off my adhesive backing from the foam and place it over the top of, place the window over the top of the sequins. I've been making tags like this for Halloween using the striped paper. I really like it. It's just they're very thin stripes and they just add like a little something. I like to do the clean and simple look with like a big white tag, but it's just nice to have the little black and white border there. And then the neon ink looks really good with the black stripes. So I'm just going to add a little dot so I can punch a hole for my string for my tag. And then this project is done. And I actually, I think I mentioned I have an orange one too that I did with the orange neon ink. So it'll be a good combination to have them both together. And then I'm ready to move on to my next project, which is an autumn themed card. And I'm actually starting off with the frame that I'll be using for my shaker window, and I adhered it to the front of my note card so that I could stamp my sentiment first and kind of have everything lined up perfectly ahead of time. And I just attached the frame with some removable adhesive. Now to create this shaker window, I'm using these foam sheets from Paper Tray Ink, and the die that I used to cut the square frame, I'm going to use to cut into the foam sheets and create a square of foam to adhere to the back of the shaker window. And you'll see in a second what I do. But these sheets are nice because they're really big and you can kind of cut the size that you need for your shaker. And they work great with any type of frame die. So circles, squares, rectangles. You get this nice piece of adhesive that doesn't have any spaces in it. So it makes it really easy to make your shaker window. And then I had cut the frame out of some craft cardstock too, which I'll place on top of that foam to create the shaker window. But first I'm going to add the Judykins window plastic for the window again. And I really like the size of this. It makes it's super easy to cut and just easy to get your shaker cards finished quickly. And then for the foam adhesive square, I like to peel off the blue part of the adhesive first because that's the easier part. This way your adhesive doesn't get all kind of bent and everything. So I also like to add a little bit of powder to my fingers when I'm trying to move the foam around because it's very sticky. And I find that the best way to add the window is to just kind of drop it from the top so you can line everything up really, really easily. And so it's nice so you don't have any spaces where your foam tape is. You don't have to worry about like cutting pieces and that type of thing. So I was going to add some leaves around the edge of the frame on the front of my card. So I'm using some small stitched leaves from Lawn Fawn, and I'm also using an ink pad from Hero Arts it's an ombre pad, and it's called Autumn, and it has just some really pretty browns and reds combined. And I'm starting off with my stencil brush, but then I'm thinking that the sponge would work better. The leaves aren't as delicate, so I wanted to kind of use a heavier hand with the ink. And it makes it easy to you die cut the leaves and then just leave them in the cardstock that you die cut them in. And then you can just run your ink over the top of the entire piece of cardstock. And I don't end up using all the leaves, but I can have the extras for another project. So then after punching these out, I'm going to move on to the rest of the card, and I added this little acorn from the Sunny Studios stamp set that I got the sentiment from because I felt like the card needed just a little something in addition to the sentiment. And then I added some gold and wood grain sequins, but then ended up taking the wood grain sequins away and just keeping the gold because I have the craft colored frame, which I thought was enough brown for the front of the card. And I'm just peeling the backing off of the foam adhesive on the shaker window, and then I'm going to place it over the top of the card. And stamping the sentiment ahead of time just makes it easy to line everything up. And then I'm ready to add the leaves around the edges, and I'm using glue dots for these. I have different sizes of glue dots, and glue dots have a really strong adhesive, so I thought that would be the best thing to use since the leaves are going to be kind of hanging over the frame. And I tried to kind of get different colors of the leaves, kind of mix them in and just have a couple in each corner. And this card is finished. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions about any of the products I used. I hope this was helpful and kind of giving you some ideas for some shortcuts and if you like to make shaker cards. And thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in my next video.